Hey guys, wanted to do a little intro to this next section of the panel line 101, 102 videos. I filmed the second half of this today and I didn't realize how long the whole video was going to be, so it became two parts. So there are going to be a couple of points where the sound cuts out and the video jumps up to twice the speed because of layout and boring. So I sped it up for you. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay. Alright, try a different angle here. So now that we've got the nice little scribe lines, I don't even have a name for this piece. We have these scribe lines in on both components. We can work on the housings for the boosters. I took the liberty of drawing them out and refining them with my white pencil. And I use this little guy, plastic eraser, deluxe. I got this in at a CVS in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. But you can use pretty much any, probably use any vinyl eraser. This stuff works really, really good on the plastic to wipe the pencil off. I don't know if that's because it's a plastic eraser or what. Haven't done any refining yet on these guys. They do look pretty good. The glue didn't bleed too much. It did a little bit there. So there'll be a little bit, actually it did a pretty good job on those. A little bit of refining, as you can see on the back side here. We need to trim down that piece of styrene so that it matches the reciprocal component. Just a little bit of file action there. Do that in a little bit. And I have drawn on the next component. Nice. I have a silly Pandora station on in the background. It's my Kaneda theme from Akira Pandora Station by what's his name? Yokihiro Yamaguchi? I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, so I've cut some pieces of the Dymo, and I need to transfer the right piece for the right thing. If there's any curvature, I think I can just run that one flat. So I'll just run that piece flat. And in fact, what I think I'll do is cut to some music and just make some clips of this, because this is basically all going to be the exact same as I've done before with setting up the parts for scribing. Setting reset. Actually, I'm gonna have to cut that. Well, you know, I'm just gonna scrap that one. Start over. Anyways, as I was saying. Alright. Sure you guys notice I have this healthy bandage on my finger. When I was at work yesterday, I happened to touch the top of my finger with a spinning tool, and I put a cut from about here all the way down to about here, right through my knuckle, through all the skin, all the way down to the goodness. I actually had an injury similar to that in the actually exact same spot several years ago, so I'm no stranger to it. And I did the smart thing, and I got it wrapped up right away, so it'll be fine. But I only have these fingers to use. I have to dictate the whole time. Just call me a tater. I have both of the components, both the shield armor components for the legs. There we go. All done up. And we're just gonna do some scribing real quick here. A little bit on camera, a little probably off camera. I find it really important to take my time when I'm starting out doing the scribes of this thing. I don't know if that's something that'll change with my progression with the tool, or if it's just kind of the way you have to take these. If I get more comfortable, cutting lines into the plastic. Yeah, I missed my finger. Alright. Cut away because it was a little bit difficult to not have this all up in my nose while I was scribing it. So as you can see, I wiped all the pencil off with my thumb. As you can see, that scribe worked out pretty good. It's a little bit, you can see there's a couple of catches here up on the top where I kicked off on this first one a little funky, and a couple here, really light markings. If you're like me and you're going to paint the kit, that doesn't really matter too much. All you got to do is sand it down, make it all sexy. If it's too deep, you can always put a little bit of spot putty in there and fill it up. I like to use this stuff. Squadron Products white putty for model making. It's great. It dries really, really fast. It dries in about 30 minutes. You sand it off, and it's pretty smooth. So, yeah, I'll get the other one. So, gotta stop trying to bend that finger. Doing the curves. Take your time when starting on these complex curves. The tool is very sharp. The plastic is not nearly as resilient as the hard edge of the tool, so don't go crazy right away. Wait until you have a good smooth path started before you really dig in and start to cut curlicues, which if you're cutting a nice chip, it should look like a curlicue. Alright, this has some light. Fix. Jump on track. Oh, I love commercials. Jimmy Buffett's. Book your visit today at resortsac.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alright, I think I can safely peel that off. Now this tape, you pretty much toss it. I suppose you could take it off more eloquently than I do and retain it, but I just end up tossing it. So after I put, as you can see, I just peeled it off. It actually took most of the white with it, but peeled it off. Just a little bit of refining needs to be done, and a little bit more deepening of the lines, so I just come in without the guards on. No guards. And I just work the directions I want to work to try and make the forms line up. Make sure that panel line lines up okay. If you're doing parts on the opposite side of the kit, there can be a little bit of variation in your line. Don't beat yourself up, especially on these round forms where this is like kind of a complicated freehand almost, or a free ball of panels. Don't beat yourself up too much because the two different sides of the kit will never be looked at at the same time. I had that same issue. I made a gigantic sword out of insulation foam and brass repose and a lot of time, some fiberglass. I'll show it one of these days, but you can't see. I did both halves of the the crossguard as in brasso repose. Hammered it out, figured out the tools. Spent a lot of time over an anvil annoying my coworkers. And I was a little bit buggy because the two sides aren't perfect, but you'll see. It looks good. It looks really good. That's all that matters. So I feel pretty confident about these two. And all I got to do is the final mark here around the booster. Okay. So I, off camera, obviously, I did set up the cowls, the booster cowls. They're very out of focus, but I like the way they don't have to match each other because they're not even related to each other. It's too much. I'll have to trim that. Okay, but as you can see, I got a little bit of this yellow mask on there. That's because these curves are pretty complex, and this Dymo tape, because of how thick it is, even though it's adhesive, this surface is extremely shiny. So unless you go so far as to scuff it up with like a 400 grit, or something like that, sandpaper, to give the tape something to stick to. It'll have a hard time sticking to it. But this stuff here, this Nichiban masking tape, yellow masking tape, I love this stuff. Use whatever kind of masking tape you like, but just stick a little on there on the edges to help out keeping those flats down. So we're just going to do this real quick. Ooh, gotta watch that finger. Gotta watch that not being on film. It's a close one. Glad I got that marked before I pulled the edge up. You can see the curly cues I'm talking about of plastic that form from cutting with the scribing tool. Very gently on these complex compound curves. See, I have 3 points on the tool. I have my thumb and my ring finger, and then my index finger up here just kind of steadying it. I have a full grip on the piece plus a guide grip with my index finger. That way I am not I'm keeping constant contact with the piece, and I'm less likely to jump the tracks because everything's all centered and grounded. Alright, I can just whip that off of there. Wow. Ow. Wow. Watch my finger. Alright. There you go. I'm just going to repeat the process with the other side and be right back. Right. I went through, etched them both in. You can see there's still a little bit of micro scratches on the end there, but I'll need to do that cleanup after I get a prime on it and I can see what exactly I need to fill and what I don't. Those look pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with those. I'm actually going to pop them on to the kit right now. Ooh, that looks pretty good. There we go. Put this side on. Easel it behind that. Link them up. There we go. Not bad. One's just a hair larger than the other one. Those two are pretty good. Those are like twins. This one's a little bit, those are a little off, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. As you can see, I did all the post polish and finish on these. Got rid of all of the little micro scratches and then went back and took it down to a high micron polish. These ones have just been rough sanded with a medium micron. I only went to about micron 9, yeah, on these. So I started at 15, went to 9 after I sanded down with one of my nice sanding sticks. I got zillions of those. Now I'm going to take these guys and tune them in a little bit. I'm going to reassemble this thing really quick and close out the video because I think we've done just about all that we need to do for this little bit. So we've talked about the Dymo tape, what it is and how it works, different ways that we can utilize it to create straight and curved lines on straight and curved surfaces. Here, this one has that little nub of glue on there. We didn't talk about purpose. I always mean to talk about this when I'm doing a panel line video of some sort or another, but a lot of people will put panels for no reason. Like, some things need a lot of panels. The Unicorn Gundam, tons of panels, makes sense. The damn thing transforms into almost an entirely different machine. It grows in size and has all these like wonderful breakpoints. But I see sometimes, and I'm not trying to be overly critical, I'm just saying that I don't get it, it's my taste. You know, your taste is your taste. But people will put a panel in the center of a flat piece of plating, of armor plating, and I can't imagine what the purpose of the panel would be. I always try to make it so that there's a reason, a method to that madness, a reason, a rhyme, something to, you know, to give it grounding, to give it purpose. You know, it's like these kits that look like they got dipped in glue and rolled in the parts bin. But like say the booster on this. Why did I add the panel lines that I did? Well, partially because there was a big open space that was blah. But also, how would you access this particular booster if there was a malfunction in there? You would have to take the entirety of the leg armor off the side, and if you're in Battlefield, that's an arduous thing to try to get to. I had thought about adding access hatches to this, similar to the hatches that are on the Messerschmitt's engines, one of which I left exposed in the kit bash. You know, just to give it the ability to give the hypothetical pilot or engineer or mechanic the ability to get in there and correct any errors or make any repairs. All right, pop that bad boy on. Ooh, yeah. Just erase that X off of there. Don't tell Rob Zombie. Okay. Alright, the other one is the one that needed a little bit more work. So this is the one that has the excess inside. The devil inside. You can see I'm always working back and forth diagonally across my scratches to help ensure that I get something that's smooth and isn't really one-sided. There we go, got a little bit of curve on that. Looks pretty decent. Do the other side real quick. This part doesn't take very long. This is just trimming those pieces that I made for the, you know, the theme on the armor, the hexagon, half a hexagon. I guess that's just a trapezoid, isn't it? Alright, it's not a math lesson today. Okay, we're going to pop that on the right direction. And there it is, folks. Friends and family, boys and girls, all ages. Some detail up. Some twins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. It was a little bit complicated, but that's the way this stuff is. I wanted to give you an example of how to utilize some of the stuff that you may have seen on other videos, but don't have a very good explanation. 1 second. Yeah, to utilize the Dymo tape and the scriber to make your own panel lines, custom panel lines, to add a little bit of dimension to your pieces in your kits. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments about this video or any other video, you can comment down below in the comment section. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing more videos about you know, customization of Gundam kits. I do some unboxings. I'm going to be showing off some of the prop replicas that I make here before too long, and some of the sculpture that I do, amongst other things. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Come back. We'll see you again next time here on the Bro Builder channel. And yeah, have a good one.